So I suppose like after another week of hazy sunshine, high temperatures, and you know serious breeze in points too, like an awful lot of drying on farms, like it has soil moisture deficits have bumped up a good bit in the country, and I know on growth rate has dropped back on farms. If we look at the figures there from the week from pasture based farm cover is about 730 at the minute, cover per livestock unit 198, and growth about 65. But I tend to really not focus too much on the average, James, in that point of view, because there's some farms in parts of the country that are beginning to struggle big time, and then there's other people who are just getting by at the minute. The growth rates are holding up, probably a couple, 3 or 4 paddocks on the top of the wedge holding that growth rate okay, but it may be further down the wedge that there is issues. If we have a quick look at the soil moisture deficits, they're probably approaching 65 mil, 70 mil in certain points of Carlow, Kildare, that sort of area, Kilkenny, probably the southwest probably about 55, the west Midlands maybe somewhere 45 or 50, so getting away a little bit there. But I suppose the figure would be really around 60, 65 before we begin to see a considerable drop off in growth rates, and there is certain counties that are approaching that at the minute. So I suppose, look at James, briefly from a management point of view, probably the most important thing is establish a growth rate for the farm at the minute. Where is it? Keep an eye on it, and I suppose getting ahead of that, then you can start talking about the options, the feed options that are available there, for you in the yard. From a key point of view on the rotation length, try and kind of set that rotation length somewhere between 20 and 25 days. On the farm, don't let it spiral down the way. If pre-grazing yields are dropping and average farm cover is dropping, hold it there to the 25 days. If we can keep 180 to 220 per cow there on the farm, that'll be important, which would keep maybe somewhere between 700 and 800 on the average farm cover. Dry matters are very high at the minute. They were above 20. So, in general, I know quality is dropping, but cows in general are fed. So, they should be full enough there at the minute. I suppose, from a feed point of view, depends on what you have in the yard there, James, just for the few options. If you've got some good quality bales and growth rates are dropping, you probably can get away with maybe 3-4 kilos a meal and throw in a couple of good quality bales at the barrier there for a start. If you don't have the high quality bales there straight away, James, it could be a question of going that little bit further on meal and bringing in some poor quality silage, more first cut bulky sort of silage. And then if there is a shortage of silage, which there is in some yards around the place, James, you're probably looking at other high fiber options, your hulls, your beet pulp, and in certain cases some palm kernel.